Hey there, I'm Benjamin from Loves Data. In this video, you'll learn about Google Ads certification. Becoming certified in Google Ads is a great way to highlight your knowledge to clients, prospects, and employers. I'll outline the 6 Google Ads certification exams you can take, and I'll also cover tips you can use to study for and take the exams. And just to highlight, we're going to be covering the certification for you as an individual, which is one of the steps to becoming a Google partner, which is a company level certification. Okay, let's jump in and get started. We're going to begin by covering some frequently asked questions about Google Ads certification. If you would prefer to jump ahead, then you can find links to each topic in the description below this video. First up is, how do I become certified? To become certified in Google Ads, you'll need to pass at least one of Google's 6 certification exams. Once you pass an exam, you'll then be certified in that particular area of Google Ads. There are exams covering search, display, video, shopping ads, apps, and measurement. So if you want to be certified for search, you can just take that exam. Or if you want to be certified in all of the areas, then you'll need to pass all of the exams. Is Google Ads certification free? The exams are free to take, so while you don't need to pay anything to become certified, you will need to invest some of your time to study for the exam or exams you're going to take. Are Google Ads certifications worth it? Yes, I think the Google Ads certifications are worth it. They help you demonstrate your areas of expertise when it comes to Google Ads. Along with practical, hands-on experience managing campaigns, it's a great way to show off your knowledge. Is Google Ads certification hard? There are a mix of questions. You'll probably find some questions are easy and some are difficult. It really comes down to how you've studied for the exams and your previous experience using Google Ads. I recommend that you use Google's study resources and have some practical experience inside Google Ads before taking the exams. I'll talk more about this in a moment. How long is the certification valid? Once you pass an exam, your certification for that area of Google Ads is valid for 12 months. And to keep your certification, you will need to retake the exam before it expires. Is there a demo account I can use to help study for the exam? Unfortunately, Google doesn't provide a demo account for Google Ads, so if you don't have access to an account, then I recommend creating your own Google Ads account. And I also highly recommend investing a budget of $1 a day into your demo account. This will let you experiment and learn how to run campaigns until you're managing an account for a real client. How long does it take to become Google Ads certified? This is a really tricky question to answer since it really comes down to your existing knowledge. If you're just getting started with Google Ads, then I would recommend giving yourself a month or two to work through the study resources and gain some practical experience. If you're already familiar with Google Ads, then I'd give yourself a week to review the study resources before taking one of the exams. And if you've already passed the exam previously, then you can probably jump in and retake the exam today. Do the exams help me become a Google partner? One of the requirements to become a Google partner is to have your individual certification, so yes, it will help you. Becoming a Google partner is a company certification. I've included links in the description below this video if you'd like to learn more. How should I study for the exam? Google provides study resources in their Skillshop platform. You'll find lessons covering each of the 6 certifications. So you'll find lessons covering search, display, video, shopping ads, apps, and measurement. I'll show you where to find these lessons in a moment, and I've also included links in the description below this video. Apart from taking Google's lessons, I also recommend having some hands-on experience using Google Ads. So consider creating a demo account like I mentioned previously. And to learn even more practical skills, consider joining my Google Ads courses. You can find a link to my courses in the description below this video. What are the exam questions like? The majority of questions are multiple choice, where you can choose one answer, or checkboxes, where you can choose one or more answers. For these questions, you will need to select the best possible answer or answers from the available options. And you might also find questions where you need to reorder the available options. For example, you might need to match different features in Google Ads to short descriptions. The questions in the exam cover a broad range of topics, including the different features in Google Ads, best practices for managing campaigns, and even the occasional strategic question. Let's look at 4 practice questions. These are based on the types of questions you might find in the search exam. The first question is, 3 elements need to be included when you create a text ad to show on the Google Search Network. These elements include a headline and a description. What else must you include? Is the answer A, Analytics Tracking Code, B, Google Site Tag, C, URL, or D, Competitor Landing Pages? What do you think the correct answer is? The correct answer is C, URL. The next practice question is, in order to configure dynamic search ads, what do you need to provide? Is the answer A, a headline but no description, B, an initial list of keywords, C, a preferred attribution model, or D, a list of pages on your website? The correct answer is D, a list of pages on your website. Next up, Alexander is managing all of the marketing for a small business with a limited budget. He wants to reach as many potential customers as possible. How can Google Ads help? Is the answer A, Alexander can set the maximum he would like to spend each month? B, Alexander's ads will always display above other competitors? C, Alexander's ads will show on all available search engines? Or D, Alexander will always pay on a maximum cost per reach basis? The correct answer is A, Alexander can set the maximum he'd like to spend each month. And the final practice question is, Josie notices that a search campaign has an optimization score of 30% on the recommendations page. What does the score tell Josie? Is the answer A, the campaign could be improved by 70% if the recommendations are applied? B, the campaign is underperforming compared to 70% of their competitors? C, the campaign is not spending 30% of the available budget? Or D, the campaign is 30% optimized for the keywords in the ad groups? The correct answer is A, the campaign could be improved by 70% if the recommendations are applied. So there's some examples of the types of questions you might find in the search exam. Your exam will include 50 randomized questions, so you'll need to be prepared on all of the possible exam topics. If you'd like to test yourself with even more practice questions for the search exam, then you can find a link to my Google Ads exam practice questions in the description below this video. You have 75 minutes to take the exam, and you'll need to get at least 80% of the questions correct in order to pass the exam. Once you've passed the exam, your certificate will be current for 12 months. How do we sit the exams? You can sit the exams in Google Skillshop. Let's take a look. You'll need to log in with your Google account, like your Google for Work login or your Gmail login. Then you can select Browse. Then select Google Ads. And select Google Ads Certifications. You will then find all 6 of the exams. Let's select the Google Ads Search certification. We can then see the exam towards the top, currently called an assessment. Above this, you'll also see the Knowledge Check assessment. This lets you answer some practice questions before taking the real exam. So if you haven't taken the exam before, or it's been a while, then this is a great way to get a feel for the types of questions you'll be asked. You'll also get to review the questions you got wrong, but they don't provide the correct answers. Below the exam, we can see the study resources. You should take time to take all of these lessons provided by Google. This knowledge will help you pass the exam. What happens if you fail one of the exams? If you do fail an exam, you'll have to wait 1 day before trying the exam again, and there isn't a penalty for failing the exam, other than having to wait for your next attempt. So that's how you can take the Google Ads certification exams and the resources you can use to study for the exams. Remember that once you've passed one of the exams, you'll be able to say you're certified in that area of Google Ads. You can also print your certificate and add your qualification to LinkedIn and your CV. Are you studying to become Google Ads certified? Which exams are you going to take? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below this video. And don't forget you can test your Google Ads knowledge with even more of my practice questions for the search exam. I've included a link in the description below this video. And if you found this video helpful, then please like it so I know to make more videos like this. See you next time.